So I was saying that we're going to define our model in order to specify a minimum threshold for the quality of this model. We're going to check it. How do we do so? These are just part of the theoretical parts. We get into the concepts, right? Then we have a data set. That's basically what we have in our company. Basically, the model, the data that is required to train and evaluate the model is for each customer ledger entry that has a related post-sales invoice, included the following information: amount, payment terms in days are calculated as the due date minus the posting date, and whether an applied credit memo exists or not. Then we have other information that will be analyzed, the total number of paid invoices, and then we can just follow up. But the idea is that we're gonna have some ratios calculated by this model. These are a number paid late and paid invoices, amount paid late, paid invoices, number of outstanding late and outstanding normal invoices. So the idea is that for every customer, we have all our entries. We have all the invoices, all the payments, as history, right? And this will be then analyzed, meaning that our model actually trains itself. It's not really that it's just going to verify and analyze, but it's just going to indicate us which statistical model will be preferable to use once it analyzes our history. So we have Azure service, artificial intelligence connected to my environment in Business Central, and I have already some posted invoices from sales operations, and I just want to verify and I have insights of what this model could predict with confidence, let's say 90%, 80%, right? So we are going to train the model in order to increase the quality of the analysis, and it's going to indicate us a ratio in percentage from 0.1 to 1, meaning that will be 100% at the end. So once again, it trains itself. We don't have to specifically configure the features that we are going to use in the statistical model. It's just going to be connected to our Business Central environment and immediately going to start reading the lectures that we have for every customer. So the idea is that we are going to select my model because we have a default model first. In order, every time we work with Cortana, it has already experiments in Azure that were already designed, but then we need to train our model inside our company, and it's going to start then preparing and train itself, like I was mentioning. So after one of the evaluations we did in one of the demo companies, as an example, here we're going to receive a message after the training is completed. And then in this example, we have 97% determined as a quality that indicates how well the model has been trained and how accurate it will be. For instance, 80% means you can expect correct predictions for 80 out of 100 documents. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's telling us that it might be really let's say evaluating our documents or invoices that were not paid by the specific customer and evaluate them with 80% of accuracy, whether they're gonna be paid or not. So let's just then look the payment predictions as well. But first of all, let's just see how then it works. I'm going to open now Business Central, so you can see for the first time too. And what I'm going to change now, so we can see the late payments model. Okay, so the late payment prediction is one of the tools that we have As the tool already configured, by the way, it's going to then need just a push in order to immediately create the model. So we have the standard and my own model. The idea is that we should enable this tool in order to start working. And then once it is just set up to work, we're going to then need to analyze the model quality threshold. That would be the minimum quality expected because we don't want to actually forecast payments or late payments that were not really under the good quality of this prediction. Otherwise, we will be having plenty of warnings for payments or invoices that are not really on their critical payment prediction, right? Meaning that the status will be fine, they could be paid or not, but at the end it's not critical or not pointed out as having issues. Now, in order to actually work, I want to update the payment predictions. These are going to be read in the background, meaning that at the end, I will be training this model. And by the way, when we actually work, we just need to create any model, and it's just going to then help us to analyze the process. So what I want to do is just evaluate once it is get training. My model was already trained. I have set it up in advance. And once I review my data, it's telling me that after the evaluation of my information, it currently has a quality of 93. Okay, so this is indicating me how well it's going to perform whenever I start working and reviewing my data sets. So the idea is that this should be yes or yes, it should have a good threshold. Otherwise, we prefer to wait to check more some time in history. And let me just, meanwhile, in Azure, look at the data so you can then see it here as a feedback in Business Central. Let me just give me 1 minute while it starts to work and while it completes the process of training my reviewing my data set, then I'm going to be able to access normally and review the information. Okay. Now I'm going to access to Business Central once again, and okay. Now, apparently what I have seen is that we have sales invoices predicted overdue. This is actually a new KPI that this tool has created for me. And the idea is that without the user actually reviewing yet what was calculated or anything, our users, whenever in AR, whenever they start working, they have plenty of different activities because they need to, let's say, cover the collection process. So by following up, the first thing that we have is first Cortana telling me that I have 11 invoices that are actually with high confidence, with 100% confidence, and the payment prediction is that they are going to be late. Okay, so the idea is that we need to review why or what is the problem if I just, for instance, check off one of the invoices that I have. Well, this will be for the company Adatum Corporation, and look at them, it's for $10,000. Okay, so if I just continue checking, I have one invoice only for this specific customer. So it's going to start checking according to the value. Remember, we are checking the amount. This customer might be paying maybe on a monthly basis one specific amount, which often happens. And then by checking all the invoices, maybe the amount is quite large, as an example, in order to be paid. And we have others for the same customer, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. All right. So after I have the review from Cortana about what's going on here, I would like to check, well, invoice by invoice, because at the end, I should be able to then, let's say, analyze the payment terms, just as an example, how we manage this type of issues normally. And we have the payment terms according to this, that by this customer should be paying in 1 month, 8 days. or 8 days in 1 month, and 8 days in order to have a discount if he pays before the due date. 1 week, if he's going to get a discount if he pays 1 week before the due date. So that's one of the things that we can just check. And here we have 16,000 from out of 39,000 that will be currently overdue. So as well, we have, well, look at this, all the KPIs that were just considered overdue, all the invoices, and then also they were not overdue calculated by Business Central, but Cortana is as well telling me that this will be late. So I would preferably, with this prediction model, review this specific invoice. Yes, we have 2 invoices that were overdue, and well, apparently the one that is smaller is 6,000 only. It's it's likely to be paid before the one that has 10,000 according to the model. Okay, so, and we have yes other invoices that were not yet due, but at the end we would like to verify all of them, because even though they were not due, for now that I calculated to be late, maybe then this customer is not even paid. So yes, Cortana is going to give us the prediction, but as well we need to review what type of invoices are already due and what are just yet on time in order to be paid. And apparently invoices that are even on time that were not yet already due, Cortana is predicting that they will be paid. Okay, this is because as well is going to check the payment history in order to see, well, maybe I would then try to block this specific customer for this scenario when I see that he's not paying, or he's checking that, or we are checking that he's not going to be paying some invoices. So we verify and we stop sales operations, at least for a specific period of time. So in order to block it, we have the capacity to maybe block from currently making more shipments, okay? Meaning that even if this customer purchases from our company, any product, then we are gonna block it in order to not to ship any item. And as well, we could block it to prepare invoices or for all activities. So this customer 1,000 then is having issues, according to Cortana, about the payments. I think that that will be the most problematic, but as well, we might have sometimes some documents that are 1 or 2 for the other customers, right? But the customer that is currently the 10,000 has 4 documents that, well, have maybe a large quantity, and I would prefer to start now reviewing what's going on. Okay, so we have a KPI, and this would be the lectures that we need to check for high, low confidence set, then review a customer by customer that appears in this section just to understand what's going on. So I would like now to come back to my presentation and just continue explaining some basic concepts. So in order to predict your payments, you're going to have a new KPI that we can locate in any of your screen coming from Cortana called Sales Invoice Predicted Overdue. So you have it. And then you have these measurements, the payment prediction, the confidence, and the confidence in percentage. It's important to mention that the confidence coming from the statistical model indicates how reliable you should consider the prediction to be. High confidence means that the prediction is at least 90% certain. Medium confidence is between 80 and 90, and low confidence is below 80%. So this is not like a straight ratio, all right? So it's not like from 20 to 50 to 80. Actually, under 80%, we can consider that we cannot even predict what's going on with a customer. So above 80% by the specific, let's say, payments and the historical information, how often this customer is paying, and maybe on a weekly or a monthly basis. So as well, the predictions might change in time according to how we follow up then we're going to start getting better results towards the collection management. And not only that, what should we do after our prediction? Well, we have mentioned some basics like checking the due dates, the payment terms. Maybe you could negotiate with the customer to verify what he's not paying, or we just simply block it. But we have shown the documents that were already evaluated, and then we have then to check if the payment prediction has a high confidence. Right. So for now, we're reviewing that we have some models that or some documents that were 100%. My model was 100% that my payments are not going to be yet paid. And then the confidence is related to if I could actually follow this payment prediction that is going to be late, okay? And has been tested. These are statistical models that are going to actually help me that were already tested in Azure, the Azure concept, the Azure model, where we run these statistical models are actually in Azure, taking information from my company and actually preparing the output with these documents that I actually see here. Okay, so the documents evaluation is going to then be let's say, we can trust this type of Azure services, right? What to do then after this? Okay, what I want to do in the same window, I have different type of procedures that I could apply. First of all, I could create a reminder. A reminder for me is exactly is an email that will be automated, and I can just immediately send after I just review these predictions. Let me just explain you this concept. I have my list of customers. Adatum Corporation was one that has a lot of issues currently. So I would start following up this in order to enhance my collection, okay? So I have the reminder term code for domestic and foreign customers. Remember that local and domestics will be different for me. At least, well, because I will be then, let's say, selling on a local basis with different ratio of sales operations or sales cycles. Normally, this what we call the sales cycle is basically how many times do I sell my inventory on a period basis, and then I could just immediately analyze that, and well, according to that ratio, Cortana is as well going to then read information for me, and then what I want to do is just go and review my reminders because I have configured some customers, and then my reminder are actually going to be based on the specific configuration for domestic or foreign type of customers. The idea is that I'm going to have some specific levels. The first time, after 1 month of the invoices that we see, either by Cortana or Business Central that were not paid, I'm going to send you an email after 7 days. The other one will be after 1 month, and then after 2 months, well, summarizing 7 days plus 1 month plus 1 month. The third email to the customer will be sent after this period of the date calculation and the grace period of 1 month. And then you could even charge to your customers actually a fixed fee, a single dynamic fee, which is a simple interest, or accumulated, which is compound interests. And we can just charge, let's say, $20 after every email we send, and we should negotiate, even though actually the interest or charges to our customers is not a widely used tool. Okay, we just normally stops just selling, but if you want, you should try to charge some fees either or interest if necessary to your customers, because that will be a really good process to implement. And well, this will be enhance your collection management without issues. And the idea is that then later, after we establish those levels, those emails, we're going to have the possibility to as well proceed with these invoices that we know in advance that they are going to be late, by the way. All right. So I'm just actually manually creating one of these reminders for one of these documents that I know that apparently will be late with the Cortana analysis. And what I'm going to be doing now is just prepare one email that we call reminder, and I'm going to issue to the Adaptive Corporation. And look at this. The idea is that it's going to send an email. It has read the GL accounts. It has prepared the invoice to be printed by the customer, checking the totals to be paid, and it calculated my additional fee for this specific document that was not paid. Okay, so you need now a message from the functionality to the customer, in this case, will remit your payment for the specific amount as soon as possible. These calculations, and as well, is going to verify the customer, the actual contact that is called Robert Towns. And once this is just prepared in advance, like, and well, I'm just showing the information because I'm preparing it manually, but the idea is that we use these tools on a monthly basis at least, and they should work automatically. We just configure for you here in Optimus. The consultants prepare all these tools for you so you can use it. And like I'm currently just doing it, is the idea that I will be just preparing, let's say, an email and depositing it for today. So I could just remember that I'm going to charge 7. So we implement this tool and we just let me check. Maybe I should calculate more reminders. And the idea is that when we implement this, we prepare the actual emails with however you want to have any of the emails to your customers, or with a specific layout and so on. So for us, it would be then important. I see the error. Sorry. It will be important to run all the reminders at once for all the customers. Okay, this is what it's doing. One for this customer that is called Adaptum, the other one for Cray, School Fine Arts, and Alpine Sky House. Okay, so this tool is useful, as you can see. And here, not only one, but I have 1, 2, well, different invoices that we these have analyzed already, summarizing everything, creating the message, and separating even between just invoices that I need to pay and open entries yet not due. But I still recommend to this customer, but don't forget these other invoices that you still need to pay, separated by the urgent, and then well, the other invoices behind the scene that, well, the customer needs to also remember that she should as well pay, correct? So basically that's the idea of this tool, by the way. And for us, like I said, it's just done automatically, right? We don't have to come back and doing what I'm doing currently manually. This is just for the training to see how you can increase your collection management after this first prediction. And now I have the actual email automatically prepared. I haven't done anything, and it's going to check the contact as well if you have CRM or Business Central, and then issue the first reminder. And it's telling to Ms. Helen, if you are receiving this email to formally notify you, blah, 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 okay, on the specific date, an enclosed copy of the invoices. So it's preparing an email. It's preparing a message with the actual documents, the amounts, the additional fee, and, well, just the actual message to the customer. As well, it has some attachments if you want it, so it's not a problem. And then you could send the email actually from this layout. Okay, so I was saying that this is something that we just designed for you, so you can check the layout as an example. And this is, well, with Cortana, how everything works on, and is completely automated. So, well, you have seen how the reminders work. You have seen that we have different levels. So we are going to according to your reminder levels and your internal policies, how often you would like to send this type of emails. Every time you focus on the collection management, well, now you have these other two tools in order to actually increase that, and not only having to manually send to your customers one by one with trying to understand if the payments will be done on time or no, or just following up your most urgent documents, right? That sometimes will be the case while we work manually. We would like to maybe sometimes prepare some statisticals or learn some financial ratios in order to understand what's happening with my AR processes. And we have some other type of reports with BI reports, and that will be also helpful. But for now, the idea is that we are going to be using these automated tools, and we are going to see the results of basically with artificial intelligence, having the possibility in advance to predict these payments before they actually get delayed. Okay, so now the idea of how then this will be working is that it's actually working with the Cortana subscription. Let me show you this now. How we have prepared this type of models so you can even at least see it, and we can show it to you. Actually, that's something really useful before I continue training the model. Payment prediction. Okay, I'm going to show you now the model that I have now in Azure. So you can see how this is actually working behind the scene. Actually, it's not Business Central by itself. Like I mentioned before, it's Azure AI Gallery. I mean, Azure is an environment, a cloud environment, or a different, let's say, it's a global tool, by the way, where we actually implement in the cloud to our customers in Azure as well. Our data sets are just currently in Azure. I have this environment in Azure, and here as well, I have my what we call the prediction experiment. Okay, or any statistical model, we call them experiment in Cortana. And here are some experiments prepared for Business Central. And we have one studio where we assemble these models, and we just actually with specific subscription and models, we have, just let me show you some other experiments that actually are based on Cortana. Prediction experiment for Business Central, that you can fine tune, okay? So you can check your cash flow as an example. Within the company, we have different models or experiments, remember that. And we also were showing this to reduce outstanding receivables. And this is the one we are going to check that. But we have a full library of different predictions that are intended to actually reduce maybe the replenishing inventory. Let's say that inventory levels for Cortana, this might be quite popular. Forecasting model in Dynamics 365 Business Central to forecast or to train as well. This was done, by the way, by a friend of mine, Francisco Rodriguez, a long time ago when I was actually just as well learning this. And here I have our today's model. I'm going to show you this because this is my Microsoft Machine Learning Studio. What it does basically is that we are going to have a web service. A web service is just an engine, let's put it that way, that is going to go, if I gave access to my data, this is going to go and read my informational, my information or my data set, and then it's going to create a web service input, taking the specific KPIs ratios to Cortana in the Machine Learning Studio. We could also as well enter data manually, right? And then we're going to execute our scripts that we have designed behind the scenes. which are actually well evaluated by us here. And we are going to prepare well the prediction, the specific functions that we run, and the type of parameters that we just analyze here. But just presenting this technical part, not currently part of this training, just show you that this model actually is taking information and then it's going to prepare the web service output. Then in order to prepare models, that will be another type of modeling criteria with coding, where we and statistical predictions that we are going to be using. So as well, we can share within assure, well, this type of models, whether they are reliable or not, and we can just test them as well. How do we do so? Well, my model actually, when I just prepare it, and after that, I just need to run it. And currently, taking the evaluation and verified when you have actually run this model. Apparently, it just has finished, and it has been run today. Okay, so this actually is going to start not working, but by the way, it's important to mention, just this will be for technical people. We need to deploy the web service, and we are going to provide from the model that we have run, your API key, and as well for your Azure subscription, when you want it, we can actually as well provide it. And we are going to generate some request models where we are going to actually request your URI, right? Where we are going to use the key and the URI links, so we can then just get access and just provide feedback from the model as we just mentioned. So my current, no, sorry. So my model is just going to work once I run it. I have other type of models that I have just created or experiments and that I have lately run. So I have different experiments that I have created in Azure, just for you to know, coming from my library, and then I created some data sets and trained models as well. So the idea is that I have a free workspace. Whenever you want to actually add it, the idea is that we purchase a subscription in Azure in what we call this tool machine learning. Okay, the machine learning is basically artificial intelligence, but for us, it's just a matter of connecting to your Business Central environment, and with the keys that I have just shown, we use your subscription, and we use the API URI and API keys that I mentioned that we have from our models, and we are just going to be able to provide you with these models without you having to do absolutely nothing. So we just read the information, well, Azure, and Azure is guaranteed to have the top of the art in terms of security for your data. Actually, for instance, FBI in the USA is actually running this type of data sets in different data centers in the USA, and some other governmental departments, government departments from the USA are actually also run information in Business Central, and as well run information in Azure. So they have basically in Azure data centers all the information from the USA, right? So you can then understand how secure this type of tools are. And then, well, in this example, since I'm actually working in Azure and I don't actually need, but we will need your Azure subscription. And this is how then we are going to then be able to prepare the connection between the forecasting tools that we have in our experiments, correct? And then from Cortana, we are going to be able to build by the way, this could be also hybrid, not only in the cloud, but as well if you have Business Central on premises, and then we are going to be able to run the tool like I have mentioned. The other type of tools, after the evaluation, the prediction has been run, we are going to send this or prepare these other tasks in order to block the customer or preferably send reminders to them. But as well, we could schedule this specific model that will be run, and then this could be run on any day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. So you could say that, well, at the end of every of the week, you're going to run the model. So every day or every week, you're going to actually be able to see which documents are not going to be then or will be read after a specific threshold of time. So Cortana comes and automatically do all these actions that we can just configure. Okay, so we're going to restart after I have changed my a weekly review on Sundays. So every time my AR team comes on Monday, well, the predictions will be there to start working for the actually procedures to follow up this throughout the week, okay? Because we are not going to be talking about only about 11 overdue documents. This might be 100, this could be 200, but for now, you work in advance with this help and your people can actually follow up the customers in advance, and this will be sure 100 with 100% accuracy according to the tested AI technology will be increasing your collection management with those specific problematic customers, which at the end are the ones that we are actually going to be following. Okay, and well, just at the end, it will be important to mention that we might just need to follow up some payments that were not just processed as well. It's not that often that it's our fault, but I also can see that I have one of the payments that I have there, but I haven't yet applied. So you might be receiving as well some warnings about maybe your team not paying, even though they have the money. Let's just take a look at the payment reconciliation journal. Okay, the payment reconciliation journal is showing us the following. I have some transactions, either invoices or payments coming from our customers that actually, look at this, the match confidence is currently low. Okay, so we have one payment there for one of our customers that, well, we have 10,000 received as a payment, but it hasn't yet been applied. It's been processed, or it's just an error that we have some extra or maybe an incorrect transaction that, well, we just posted as a payment, but we never applied to an invoice. Okay, so we have an invoice that actually is 11,000 for school fine art. Okay, and we are trying to make a priority, and we are applying or a review for this type of invoice, and this is telling me the difference must be resolved before you can post. Okay, so we have a payment, we have an invoice, but they are not matching currently. What's going on? Should we apply this payment to other invoice, or why are we receiving this money from one of our customers? Remember that they are having payments, and we need to apply it against some specific invoices or document. So in this case, the payment reconciliation journal is just suggesting that because I have 10,000 received as a payment, preferably I should be linking to one of the invoices that is currently 11,000 that as well might be yet predicted as that could be late. Remember that. Okay, so if we have the money, immediately review internally what's going on. Okay, so fine, I'll maybe accept the application, and still I'm going to have a remaining amount, but not a problem. Because what I want to do at the end is just continue internally working and prepare my payments, either because the customer hasn't paid yet at all, and I'm gonna push, send emails, and so on. Other internally, I might have some payments that I haven't just completed. I need to follow up, remember, my AR team and reviewing the AR cycle. And by reviewing that, I might understand that I need to increase the speed of the process of the documents processing, okay? So I should be able to move fast those payments to be applied against my customer invoices. So that's the idea. All of these are quite advanced tools or processes, but at the end, very important, very necessary to have this type of measurements, predictions, and tools to increase our collection management without me having to stay all day just working, okay? Or try to analyze what will be then going on. As well, I have some pending outbound transactions, okay? Remember that we send emails to our customers, okay? Very important. So apparently, I have, well, by reading this KPI, what I have, I have, by the way, integration with Outlook in Business Central, and everything I do from Business Central is just prepare my automated emails and send them to the customers. But apparently as well, some of the emails was as well rejected, okay? Rejected by current company. This was because of the this was sent to one contact that maybe the email was not correct, okay? So as well, you could verify the details of any procedure in order, so in this case where I have the rejection of one of my emails for what I see is a purchase, okay? But if I was for an intercompany currency, a company, but the idea of the outbox transactions is that I need to find which emails have not been reached, maybe coming from the reminders that I sent to my customers, and check if the contacts or the emails are currently fine, and the contact is receiving my information that I'm sending, okay? Remember, all is coming from the follow-up from the prediction that I made with Cortana. So the idea is at the end, we are going to increase our collection management with this tool, and we are going to have our model working in real time for me. And once again, like I mentioned, this is coming from Azure technology. One, it just gets connected to your environment in Business Central. That's it. And well, it's also, well, very important to mention that my experiments could be have an authorization token and could be used by specific people. Okay, in my example, I will be the admin in this company in Business Central. So not everybody could access to the Cortana technology or would be able to run this to maybe just come into the Business Central a page and start, well, changing information all the time, so updating every day without knowing what to do exactly, because Cortana, remember, as well did some training, and it's not something that we just continue doing on a daily basis because it looks good. It has some criteria that when we give you training, this is going to be helping you, okay? Another type of forecast technology that we are going to be analyzing in the future in our next training will be inventory, just to mention, okay? So we have some tools as well for Cortana where I will be following now my inventory. Apparently, I will be following my analysis by week, and then following historical information from 6 weeks ago, at least, remember, at least, historical periods, 6 historical periods will be analyzed. Look at this by APIs, URA, I and my API key, okay? Once again, coming from my Azure subscription. That will be the only thing that we would need at this point, okay? And nothing else. From here, you could get, for instance, for my chair, guest chair black, what I see here is that, well, my inventory forecast is that I will be decreasing by these amounts. Look at this. For the following week, I will be having 1,220. then 1,100, and then 980, and so on a weekly basis. So we can model for you exactly this. It's very interesting, right? To see this changing on that on this specific ratio decreasing, okay? But apparently it is funny to see that my sales forecast is going to be remaining constant, being 100, okay? So what's going on? Just as another example, well, this is coming from Cortana, and then if I wanted, I could create a purchase order or an invoice by following this type of forecast, and it's going to create for me automatically a document. I don't have to do nothing else. But it says I'm not going to order. The quantity will be 0. I don't need guest chairs. In this example, I'm not going to purchase for now. It's not recommending me to purchase because apparently I'm going to, well, look at this. I have still 1,220 chairs, but at the end, according to my inventory forecast, I'm just going to be remaining, at least in May, I'm going to still have 620 units by the end of this month, because my demo is, let me see, my demo is working on April, is, well, my license, just to present the demos, I need to use this date, correct? But apparently by the end of May, I will be having half of this inventory. So for now, I'm covered. And well, just to mention, these models, actually, you mentioned, you saw that for me, is actually reviewing the transactions that I have currently. Is just checking that if I at least have 6 historical periods of 1 week, I'm going to be able then to work. Okay, so yes, I have some sales that are for 150, 150, another sales of 150, and so on. Okay, so I have these sales operations and purchasing, sales, purchasing, sales. So this is the type of history that I'm talking about, okay, that we are reading. Now, if I just come back with my customer information that or historical information that I want to now see, now that you understand that our models are checking historical information, now I would like to see now my here is ledger entries. The ledger entries that currently Cortana is reading, is checking for me. Let me just open this in a new window. By the way, this is a multitask technology, so you could open different windows without issues. You could continue working, reviewing the customer while in another monitor or tablet even you open, because you could transfer windows to different devices. Remember that. And here I could, let's say, check this other window in my tablet. But according to the history that I have, well, I started to work apparently since 2020 with this customer, having these different type of transactions, payment and invoices. And when we have seen the description here, the document number, and by the way, from all this historical information, I need to check the issue by now checking the history, and this is how we read it, okay? I have documents and payments, remember that. Now I have statuses for every invoice or document when when it has a check mark, that it means that it's still open, meaning that I haven't received the payment, okay? So currently I have these open documents that Cortana is going to check only open documents, and if they don't have this check mark, it means that they were already paid. Okay, so I have invoices in red that were correctly paid from what I see with this. I prepare some invoices first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 sales operations, okay? 7 sales operations that I prepare because I know and I configure my model to work in advance with at least 6 weeks of information, okay? At least, but we strongly recommend, of course, to have more, maybe 3 months or 4 months. And then I just prepare the payments, okay? That's are going to then be read by Cortana. And look at this, because in the demo environment, I actually started to work since 2020, but when I started to prepare this training, I just yesterday prepared my payments. So according to Cortana, all these new invoices are going to be late. You know why? Because I just started to pay yesterday transactions that were coming from 2020. Okay, I know that in advance, because when I started to work, I saw, okay, one of the customers that I'm checking in this demo environment actually haven't been the invoices from this customer hasn't been paid since 2020. What I'm going to do only is just pay them today or yesterday, okay? And I prepare some payments in February and March. And some of them, well, were just simply late. And Cortana is telling me, no, please take a look at these customers, and all these invoices are forecasted not to be paid or will be paid just late. But we have other ones that could be on time. And apparently, well, when you have a customer with good history, okay, if Cortana is gonna tell you at the end if the invoices or new invoices, every invoice that you create will be then predicted to be late or to be on time. So we need to increase our collection management until Cortana help us as an assistant. Remember, it's just assistant. It's not going to do the work for us, right? So, I mean, prepare reports or something like that. So, even though we would like, and later, why not, if we just review some AR, let me just show standard reports to continue evaluating the prediction about this procedure, just to finalize our presentation. One of the standard reports aging is age accounts receivable. Ah, yes. Okay, one of the reports, standard reports that will be used normally just to finalize will be age accounts receivable, all right? Very standard report that we just use to evaluate the amounts that will, how they are divided by document. This is one of the many reports we have for you in accounts receivable. But in this case, what I want to check is that, okay, what is the balance that is currently due? 39,000, okay, for this Adatum Corporation company. And by evaluating it, well, 23,000 is the current debt for this customer. And look at this, for the 60 days are currently 10,000. And from 61 to 90 days, have 6,000. Right? So you see here that I have all these amounts, and these are exactly the amounts by document that Cortana read for us. Okay, so this is one of the standard reports that it's, let's say, matching as well. If I just read this single report is matching the Cortana prediction, but the same type of document. So it's a way I'm trying to show you how this tool is really accurate in terms of the lectures that it's doing for me, but giving me more information, because the normal accounts receivable aging is going to be just contemplating the total amounts, okay? But sometimes we would like to have more insights, and this is what Business Central with this technology is giving me, okay? So it's giving me the prediction not only by the amounts, but specifically by the late or on time, high confidence percentage, and the actual document, okay? The actual document number, not only the amount, which is much, much better. And as well, you are not creating this report manually, okay? You would need to verify why these amounts are considered to be already overdue, document by document, conciliate everything, and then how long it takes you to create this type of information, plus sending an email to your customer with the documents that they need to pay or invoices that they need to pay, okay? From now on, you could be sure that this will be automated for you or created. You could immediately have contact by just checking this and create immediately a reminder, or from here, once again, just simply block or decrease the credit level, review the available credit that you still have for any customer, just by checking the prediction, the document that is pointed out here, and all the information for you will be just available. So with this, we are just finalizing the lectures from AI technology, how it helps us comparing the predictions against the normal lectures in a standard report. And you saw that the same figures were just pointed out, but here with more features and some automation to recall these documents and then immediately send it to the customer with a reminder, with an email that you can send, charging fees if necessary. And this is just taking me all this time, only 1 hour, to prepare all these complex type of analysis, reports, reminders, and well, the idea is that we're gonna have our life will be much easier, right? Remember this 11. So this could be then just adapted and connected to your company to actually have all these features for you available. And well, just started working with the top of the art technology that here in Optimus we can offer to you. So thank you very much. This is the end of our webinar. So see you next time with more Cortana technology. We are going to follow up our insight that we have today as an introduction with the inventory modeling to forecast the inventory and sales for our warehouses. Okay, so thank you very much and see you next time. If you have any question, please contact me. I'm going to just give you my email so you can check here. Send me whenever you want more ideas for trainings, or if you have concern about something that is going on in your company, you want to see maybe another module that you would like to implement, you want to see some demos, webinars, and features about how it works, and you could just send me an email so we can have some more feedback like I always do for our trainings. So nothing else to say. Thank you very much and see you next Thursday.